everyone, welcome back to Kingdom College. It's Celine and we'll be going through Power Reading Test 45 today. So before we begin this test, I just want to go through some ideas. So firstly, we're going to be answering closed passages with unfinished sentences. What this means for our answers is that we have to be able to discern what is grammatically correct and if there is any punctuation mistakes and etc. So this is largely focused on the English language, so you wouldn't be putting in a whole sentence for one of your responses. You might be putting in a phrase or instead a half sentence. So we'll have to take a look at the original question in order to do so. Secondly, we're going to be looking at narrator voices. So narrator voices are the emotions, opinions, and perspectives of the composer. So this might mean that the composer is in a really upsetting situation, but their perspective is actually really positive. So in order to figure out what the composer is actually feeling, we need to engage with the text directly. We need to be reading it. So that means that we have to pay close attention and really analyzing the text. So this is our first text. It's Books Unbound by Jody Minus. So this text is actually really similar to an advertisement, but it's narrated like a story. So please take some time to read it. Note the questions, because some of them are half sentences and some of them are at the beginning, end of paragraphs. So please take a look at those little details. And here are the sentence options. And once you guys have finished reading all of the extract and the sentences, please come back to this video and we'll answer the questions together. So for question 1, the placement of this sentence is at the end of the first paragraph. So the first paragraph actually narrates what the composer is doing. This is in first person. They're telling us about how they're going about their day. So we want a sentence that talks about what they're doing. And the only sentence out of the options that we do have that tells us what the narrator is doing is A, mainly because A has the first person perspective, right? So first person perspective tells us what the narrator is doing, and in this case, they're placing a copy of Margaret Atwood's The Robber Bride down. So the answer for question 1 would be A. So for question 2, we also have a half sentence, but this is the first sentence of the second paragraph. This means that this needs to flow with the first paragraph. So in the first paragraph, we're narrating what the protagonist is doing. So we want to take a look at something that can flow well with that, as well as introducing a newer topic. So question 2 reads the missing sentence, who reads books and then release them into the wild. So the word who in this case talks about a person or a people. This might mean that we're talking about the composer. It might also be talking about another person or another group of people. So we want a sentence that flows with the composer and then all these other characters. And the only sentence that works here would be sentence E. So sentence E talks about the composer, which is, despite my appearance, I haven't lost my mind. So the pronoun I refers to them. And then later on, they talk about other people who are like them. So other people who reads books, which flows well with the actual passage itself. So for question 2, the answer is C, with sentence E in the missing sentences. So question 3 is actually located in the same paragraph. It is also another half sentence. If we take a look at the entire sentence, so we have question 3, then write a quick review of the book and then leave it somewhere for someone to find. So here we have almost a set of instructions. So we want question 3 to be a sentence that actually tells us what to do. And the only sentence that tries to tell us what we can do is sentence B. So for sentence B, it tells us that we need to register, we need to log in, and we need to attach an ID to the inside cover. So in this case, because they're telling us what to do, it fits well with the writing a review afterwards and then leaving it for someone else to find. So question 3 is option B and sentence B. For question 4, they decide to give us an example of one of the texts that they have on this website. So if we take a close look at the placement of question 4, we have go towards the opera house, down the escalators, and it is under the third plot on the left, opposite the poster. So we might want to take a look at what book this actually is, and also the fact that these are another set of instructions. So they're telling us where we could find a book. So let's take a look at the sentences, and if we really take a look at the content of them, option F is the only one that tells us the name of the book and what we could do to find it, right? So it tells us Circular Quay near the Sydney Opera House. So that also aligns with the following sentence or the following part of the sentence, go towards the opera house. So the information aligns, which means that option C, which is sentence F, is a good answer for question 4. For question 5, I want us to take a look at the emotions tied to the words. So if we read the paragraph or the sentences, in 2 months of membership, question 5, and we'll take a look at the following sentence as well. And then, weighed down with failure, I despairingly checked my email. So we have a tone that's a little bit disappointed or sad, right? So we want sentences that reflect that. So we're only going to take a look at C, D, and G. And G is the only one that has any link to any emotion here. So I registered 9 books and released 8. I was starting to feel a bit disillusioned with BC. None of my books had been picked up and registered. So the word disillusioned, it's like they had a false sense of security, right? Or a false sense of hope. So that's what's really giving us that emotion. So for question 5, D would be our answer with sentence G. For question 6, I want to continue with the emotion that we had in question 5. And then I saw it. Question 6. My knees started trembling as I squealed with delight. So here we have a tone shift, right? So they seemed really disappointed at the beginning, but now they're actually feeling really excited, right? It feels happy now. So once again, a sentence that reflects this happiness or this mood, right? So in this case, the only sentence that reflects this happiness is actually C, because it reflects the original text that the person had at the beginning. So the robber bride was now in the hands of someone in Vancouver, Canada. So they're happy that someone had found a link to them and can enjoy their text as well. So for question 6, the answer would be B, sentence C. For text 2, we have a diary entry. So for the first paragraph, it's just some contextual information about the composer. So it was written in 1893. It's the diary of a 12-year-old girl who's called Helena Morley. The entire extract talks about her journey in learning English, and specifically how her father has taught her English. So please take a look at the entire extract, read carefully, note the asterisk in this slide, because this asterisk after the word owl talks about the fable. So that's at the bottom of this slide. So please make sure that you read this carefully, just in case it might be a new format of you guys' reading. And please come back when you finish reading it, and we'll go through the questions together. So for question 7, how does Helena account for her father's belief in her intelligence? She won. So question 7 actually asks us, why does Helena think that her father thinks that she's smart, right? If we actually take a closer look at the text as well, Helena doesn't believe that she's smart or talented. The paragraph on the board here tells us that she doesn't believe that she's good at anything, or she's not good at many things, unlike her father, who thinks that she's amazing. Now, look at the asterisk that we were talking about before, where it says like the fable with the owl. This fable is noted with the asterisk, and it's supposed to kind of infer that the parent will always think that their child is amazing. So that aligns with option C, right? So this also aligns with, well, what Helena thinks. Helena thinks that her father thinks that she's amazing because she is his child, but she doesn't think that she's that amazing. She just thinks that he is a little bit biased. So for question 7, answer C would be the best option here. For question 8, at the end of the lesson, Helena's father seems what? So in this extract, we're looking at the paragraph where they're finishing up their lesson, and Helena's father wants her to pronounce the word the way that he says it. So the or the, however it is, right? But she just couldn't pronounce it the way that he did, and he just wanted to keep going and going, right? But then at the end, he kind of just compromises and says that they'll try again the next day, right? So this best aligns with D, disappointed, because it seems as if like he's kind of just given up a little bit, or he's given up for the day at least, right? He doesn't have any aggression, so no anger. He doesn't seem confused or not puzzled, right? Like he seems to have a good grasp of what's going on, and he doesn't seem satisfied either, because if he was satisfied, he wouldn't want to postpone the lesson or try again. He would just be okay with it and then move on to the next topic. So D, disappointed, wanting to try again the next day because it didn't fulfill his standards, is a good option. So D for question 8. In question 9, we're going to talk a little bit more about Helena's father's opinion of her. So, but today I felt I disappointed him and I feel sad about it. This sentence suggests that Helena is what, right? So we're going back to the fable, right, where her father thinks that she's amazing, right? She feels as if that she won't meet his expectations, and that if she doesn't meet his expectations, he won't teach her, right? So that would best align with D. Like her father will no longer want to teach her. Like she's scared, right? Because she feels as if she won't reach that expectation of being smart, or being as smart as he wanted to, as he expected her to be, because she doesn't think of herself like that at all. So because of that, she's scared. Like she's scared that her father will give up on her and won't teach her anymore. So question 9 would be D. For question 10, let's just take a look at the options that we have. So which of the following extracts from the diary entry most strongly suggests that Helena is angry with her father? So for option A, but today I felt I disappointed him and I feel sad about it. So I feel sad. It's not a happy emotion, okay? But it's not anger, right? It's like a negative, upset kind of emotion. For B, it serves him right. This sounds petty, right? We take a look at the exclamation mark. Here we have a little bit of aggression, right? Rather than surprise. In some cases for exclamation marks, we have like a, well, like this is what he deserves for believing so much in her, right? So it's a little petty. So B would be a great answer. For C, this wouldn't be that great, because it just seems as if she's talking about how difficult it is to learn English. And then for D, it sounds as if she's tired, right? Having to go through the lesson every single day, or learning English every single day. So question 10 would be B. So that's it for this lesson. I hope you guys understood how to answer closed passages with unfinished sentences by looking at the grammar and punctuation, and just making sure that the sentence logically makes sense and flows, whilst also understanding the different emotions and perspectives of the narrator. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!